Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Lord AC. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Today, we got a doozy. I was going to do my next video on police encounters, but the more I looked into the story, the more I found. It just got crazier and crazier, and you will not believe where this story goes. A lot of research has gone into making this video. It's probably going to be a longer one, so if you guys wanted that from me, here you go. This one's for you. I don't want to disrupt the flow of things though, so I will remind you now in the beginning that if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. That's weird. I didn't know my thumb looked like that. Give me a thumbs up, no matter what your thumb looks like. September 11th, 2022, 11:50 p.m., Chattanooga, Tennessee. A cop pulls a truck over for missing a headlight. When the cop approaches the vehicle, the driver is not very pleased. Take a wild guess at how long it takes for things to go sour.
Hello. I'm also calling the Chattanooga Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is your passenger headlight is out.
Okay. That's not a reason to pull me over.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
If you guessed immediately, congratulations! If you guessed 1 second, nope, sorry, that doesn't count. Close, but no.
Do you have your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance on you?
Ma'am, you just you just did an illegal U-turn to come over here and harass me.
Okay, do you have your driver's license?
Right away, we could tell we're dealing with an expert. Somebody who knows the law more than the cops do.
Okay, I need your registration, proof of insurance, please.
Ma'am, I'll give you my driver's license, but you don't need nothing else from me, because I'm not giving you nothing else, because there's no reason for you to pull me, because I have not committed a crime.
Yes, ma'am, you have. I need your registration.
I have not committed a crime because that's not a crime that my headlight is out.
Yes, ma'am, it's a traffic violation.
Not only do you need to show your license and registration, but you also need to show that you have insurance. You need to always carry around with you proof of insurance when you're driving.
That's not a crime, ma'am. What you're doing is you're harassing a black woman.
Do you have insurance on your vehicle?
Yes, I have insurance.
Okay,
Are you asking me that because I'm black?
No, ma'am.
You're asking me that because I'm black?
No,
yes,
ma'am.
you are.
Everyone in this state has to have insurance and
ma'am,
proof of it.
that went out while I was driving.
Right away, she's asked typical questions, and she's asking, is that because I'm black? She goes right to the race card. I mean, as simple as show me your license and registration.
Why, because I'm black?
No, what?
I'm not doing nothing illegal. You're harassing me.
Is this your vehicle?
Is this my vehicle? Yes, this is my vehicle.
Okay, just sit top for me, okay?
Again, something that cops always ask you. Is this your vehicle? Who's the owner of this vehicle? Why is that important? Because there's something wrong with the vehicle.
And who are you? Why you pulled up over here and haven't even identified yourself? I don't even know you.
Hey, whoa.
I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're going to harm me or nothing else.
I'm not here to harm you, ma'am.
I don't think she was scared. I don't. The way that the officer didn't sneak up on her and jump scare her. He wasn't playing Halloween Michael Myers there.
Y'all were pulling black people over for my headlight going out while I'm driving, and she literally did an illegal U-turn so y'all could come follow me in a black community. Y'all white cops in a black community. Y'all harassing me.
We're not harassing you, ma'am.
I'm pretty sure you are.
I know now we train cops to talk to people and try to de-escalate things. But when you're talking to somebody that isn't logical at all, just don't talk to them. It is not worth it. Just do what you gotta do. The other cop knows that. Just do what you gotta do and get rid of them.
The only reason she asked, have you never borrowed your friend's car or anything like that?
Why would you ask a black person? You wouldn't ask nobody white if they own a car.
We asked everybody.
You shouldn't ask nobody if they own a car. Like, why would I be driving somebody else's vehicle?
Why talk to them? Just end the conversation, get what you need, get her out of there.
I already deal with the Chattanooga Police Department. I'm telling you, man, I know my rights.
You hear that line? I already good with the Chattanooga Police Department. Remember that line. Don't forget it, because it's going to be important later.
I don't understand why
y'all whipped around to follow me because my headlights are out, and y'all do this in the black community all the time.
This is where we work.
It's pulling black people over. If a headlight is out,
we usually go ahead and give warnings and also coupons to go ahead and fix headlights. So
That's right. That's right. All of this to avoid a warning. She's doing all of this to avoid a warning and a coupon that could save her money on getting it fixed.
I don't know you. I know Officer Merriweather and other officers in this community. I don't know you.
Okay.
She's mad for no reason, and then she lists the police officers in the department that she knows. So that's a little weird. Don't forget that. Put a pin in that as well.
And the majority, 57% of all things that y'all do are non-violent crimes that y'all harass people for.
You've got a lot of facts. Do you look those up?
I got a lot of facts because I'm a community activist, and I see this is the kind of stuff that happens in the black community all the time.
Oh, there we have it. There we have it. Our next piece of evidence. She is an activist. Now, I don't want to scare anybody away. This isn't a, oh, look how dumb this activist is video. I would never do that. Well, I wouldn't do that now, okay? Because this is so much more than that.
Y'all not stopping nobody from doing anything violent in our city. We got going on. Y'all can't do nothing about that, but y'all can pull people over in traffic stops.
Oh, man, I love that defense. Why are you pulling me over? There's someone over there selling grass. Where? Show me. Alright, freeze, buddy. Put the grass down. Well, that person has a knife. Hey, buddy. Put down the knife. Hey, don't look at me. That guy has a firearm. Huh? A firearm? Hey, put it down. Don't bother me. There's a guy with a bazooka right behind you. What? The guy has a bazooka? There. Over there. Hey, put the bazooka down. But there's a guy with a nuke right over there. Seriously, where? Alright, buddy. Don't even think about it. Drop the nuke. Okay. Wait, no! Turns out you shouldn't yell at the police because when the cop comes back, she hits her with 3 citations. 1 for the headlight out, 1 for failure to show proof of insurance, and 1 for having her license plate covered.
Your tag order that
Ma'am,
obstructs.
that says 23 right here. It says 23. What? Because it says 0523 right there.
It also blocks the state and your county.
Do you see how you have to pull it back, though?
If you would sign, like I said, it's not admission of guilt.
I really like the way the female cop is handling her.
I need a card from every last one of y'all out here. I promise you.
She was about to make a threat and the cop was waiting for that. Like, oh, you promised me what?
I promise you.
What?
I need a card.
Yes, I know you said you promised. I didn't know what you were promising.
Because, man.
She wants her out of there. She doesn't give a shit about what she's saying.
Okay. You can literally see
If you'll
that.
wait a minute, I'll get you a card.
You can literally see that.
I would have definitely like gave her a DUI test or something because she is not logical. I don't know how she could be sober and have this type of mindset. Like, is she really this crazy? We're gonna find out. So the driver's name is Marie Mott. We know that she's an activist.
You've probably seen her.
Sounds like to me that they don't really want to hear the voice of the people.
Or heard her voice. Her name is Marie Mott.
Good evening, family.
Who makes up that family that you're greeting?
Everybody. Even the people who probably don't like me or don't agree with me. You're still family. Race was something that was created to divide us.
She also calls everybody family. She always starts off her sentences with family, and it's really annoying because clearly this is not the same person that we seen in the traffic stop.
You don't always have to agree with me and push our country forward. That's really what I care about. Not really you aligning with every aspect of what I think. If you did that, you're a robot, and I don't need you to be that. I don't want you to have your own brain.
She says it all started when video surfaced of a teenager being pulled out of a vehicle by Chattanooga police in 2018.
I didn't necessarily start out saying, oh, let me check this box, I'm gonna be an activist. It was Avery Gray's daughter getting dragged out of her mother's car. I saw that on a Sunday evening on a recording on Facebook.
She became an activist because she's seen a 10-second video of cops removing a girl from a car.
But you're gonna step out of the car, okay? He's got paperwork that... As you step out and make sure it's not running, we'll let you get whatever you need to get out of it. But just turn it off for us, alright?
He wanted her to turn the car off and then get out of the car. She says, well, can I get my stuff in the back? And he's like, after you turn the car off and get out. So what does she start doing? She starts going through the back. And she doesn't even grab anything. If you look at her, she's just ruffling things away. She's putting things back. She has nothing in her hands. She doesn't get anything, so she's just wasting time. The cop waits about, 2 minutes before he starts yelling at her to get out of the car because obviously she wasn't listening.
Sweetheart, go ahead and shut it off for me. I'm not talking to myself. Shut off the car.
I am. Hold on.
Not really, because the keys aren't being good. Either you can shut it off or I'll get you out of the car and shut it off for you. Shut the car off. It don't matter. You don't get to break the law. Shut the car off. Now.
Then I love it. She goes, I am, hold on. How long does it take you? I am, hold on. Obviously you're not. So this is when the cop yells at her, shut it off now. And you think that she's going to shut it off. You see her hands go and reach right towards the keys. And what does she do? She grabs her phone again. It's always so funny when people are so worried about their phones during an arrest.
Oh my God! Can I have my phone?
Chattanooga police say body camera footage proves an officer was following the rules when arresting a teenage girl.
The department released the video you see back here in response to a Facebook post from the girl's mother that had been shared more than 4,000 times since her daughter was arrested.
And then the video goes viral and everybody's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the cops. And then the cops have to release the video and hope that everybody that's seen that video will see this video.
Because she doesn't know how to follow instructions, ma'am. I asked her 4 times. I was, well, who else would you be talking to about that? Okay, well.
As the cop is looking for the mom, there's a woman just screaming, why would you do that to her? Why are you yelling at her? And he's like, because she wouldn't get out of the car. And then she's like, I wasn't talking to you, sir. The guy's like, who the hell are you talking to then, lady? It's like, the hell with you. What the crazy people out here today, huh? Our activist Marie Mott seen this video on Facebook, and without even looking into it, she just assumed the worst. She then started a live stream where she declared war against the police, to which she was actually met with a lot of support. So she became an activist. This moment here created a monster. We'll talk more about her live streams later, but I do want to show you this clip. Did I mention that she's probably the worst speaker ever? She just loves to list things for no reason. She's always listing things, always.
And until we deal with, as black, white, Jewish, Native American, doesn't matter, until we deal with the full context of American history, until we deal with the gory, brutal, bloody details of chattel slavery and the Civil War, and then Reconstruction, and then Jim Crow 2.0. Hello, somebody. Until we deal with these real details, then we can't get to the other side of how do we have real, legitimate harmony and peace with one another.
This is where you could see how she really speaks, and how she starts a sentence one way, but ends up a different way, and just confuses everybody that listens.
And many people think that the protests, and often how it's painted by the media, was simply because of police violence. But the reality is that was just a spark, as it often is, of the underlying issues of socioeconomic status that is not being addressed, communities that are being racially profiled and policed on a daily basis, communities that are being uprooted for progress, without the intentionality of making space that we can build and keep people in the community both at the same time. That progress for Chattanooga does not mean that we wipe out entire groups of people, and then when they choose to speak about their frustration of how they are being treated, we decide to vilify them or to diminish their perspectives. America.
What? Oh. What was she saying again? She also speaks about getting together and separating our differences, right? Appreciating other people's perspectives.
And so we must work together with one another despite our differences.
Where was that during the traffic stop, Marie? Huh? Where was that? I didn't see that. But she is one of those people that think that silence is violence.
For my entitled white counterparts, and even for the people who choose to gatekeep, the idea that if I say nothing, that somehow I am not complicit in the injustices that are happening.
Marie Mott made a Facebook post about the traffic stop. She throws the race card around again, and then says that she shouldn't have been cited at all. She keeps bringing up the U-turn, and it's really not the great point that she thinks it is. She tries to prove her innocence by showing that her license has been renewed, that very same day, which kind of makes it seem like it wasn't valid before. Then she shows a picture of her license plate. And I don't know what she's on, but even with this generous angle, you still can't see everything. On October 18th, she tweeted that her charges have been dropped. But according to a couple other people, this isn't true. They found that Mott was actually guilty for driving with a broken headlight. So it's not exactly true when she says my charges from the traffic stop during my campaign were all, oh, did I mention that she had a campaign? No, I didn't mention that. She actually ran for a seat on city council twice.
My name is Marie Mott, community activist, organizer, and I'm running for City Council District 8 because we deserve so much better.
My name is Marie Mott, and often when we think about community safety, we think about adding more police to our communities. I don't believe in that. I also believe that reimagining community safety means removing surveillance cameras out of our communities and getting to know one another as neighbors. My name is Marie Mott. Vote for me for District 8.
She hates cameras? Why?
Why are you taking down the cams?
Surveillance is now illegal.
What? Why?
Maybe she just knew that cameras would be the thing that kills her career. On August 4th of 2022, she ran against two other people and actually got the most votes. She got 46% of them, which is great, except it wasn't good enough.
District 8 City Council seat is going to a runoff election. Candidates needed to win more than 50% of the vote to win last week's election, but 3 of them came up short.
We were not aware that there would be a possibility of a runoff. Second, the Election Commission was not aware that there would be a possibility of a runoff.
You have to have at least 50% of the vote to get the seat, which caused a runoff in the election.
And so the news called it on August the 4th. The Election Commission called it. I thought I won because everybody called my win, including the electing body that counts all the votes.
Of course, she took what she knew as a preacher's daughter and an activist to run a campaign. She would knock on doors. I think she had people helping her. She made campaign videos, and a couple of those campaign videos were weird. There was one where she cleaned mud off of one of her signs.
It's no surprise they'll throw mud, but when people throw mud like my opponent, we don't get down in the mud with them. We wash it off, and we keep going.
Wow, great job. And the whole thing is, we don't throw mud, we just clean it off. Where was that during the traffic stop, Marie? Huh? And isn't it weird that you found this sign on the same day that you did a campaign ad? She recorded a campaign ad in front of a gazebo, same day in the same outfit, with really, really bad audio, but she ended up deleting that after she lost. Unfortunately, I don't have that to show you. So of course she's making the accusation that somebody vandalized her sign. But then she says that she's seen tire tracks.
But when I pulled up to go look up close, there were clear tire marks where you could tell somebody backed in and spun their tires so it would get mud all over my sign.
But when you look at the video, they're not there. Actually, everything is dry. The only thing that's wet is the sign. And that's the weird part. Where did the mud come from? It obviously didn't come from the ground. Where are the tire tracks? She also recorded a campaign video in front of a busy street, which is probably the worst spot you could think of.
In 2011, 300 plus families were displaced from the Boone Center site right behind. East Chattanooga cannot be rising if we're displacing residents and not bringing them back to the communities that they were once in. Since the Great Change, I have advocated for our lands ourselves to ensure that we and we've got to fix that for several reasons. We want to treat our city employees with dignity and respect.
Oh, and city workers should be treated with respect. Where was that, Marie, huh? I was surprised though, at the end the interviewer does ask Marie a nice question. She asks her about the COVID-19 vaccine and whether she would take it or not. And by the way, I just want to point this out now. People think I say axe. No, I'm not saying axe, right? A-X-E, axe. And then a question is axe, right? Axe, axe. That's the way I pronounce those words. She asks her a question. Should I point that out? I think that's important because people will bring that up again. So she asks Marie in the face, and it didn't take her down. No, I mean she asks her a question about whether she would take the COVID vaccine.
Have you received the COVID-19 vaccine?
I have not. And given the nature and the history of where the United States government has experimented on Black bodies and even intentionally infected African Americans through the Tuskegee experiment with syphilis when they had a cure, I do have to say I am highly concerned about standing in line as a woman of color and getting the vaccine.
And she says no, because she doesn't trust the government. She thinks that they would use people like her as experiments again. Okay. Just one day before the runoff election, the Chattanooga Police Department sent out the footage to the local news. This is where I actually found out about this story.
A Chattanooga City Council candidate is accusing police officers of profiling.
The special election for the District 8 City Council seat is tomorrow.
A Chattanooga City Council candidate is accusing police officers of profiling during a recent traffic stop.
Candidate Marie Mott won the popular vote in the general election, but has been the subject of controversy in recent weeks.
Mott was pulled over on Cooley Street Sunday around 11 at night. According to an initial police report, officers said she became agitated and aggressive.
District 8 Chattanooga voters are heading to the polls today, voting in the runoff election for the City Council seat.
On the night of the election, we got the results. Marie Mott had been defeated. Yeah, I know, it's a tragedy. I have no idea what could have went wrong. And neither could she, because she blamed everybody but herself.
But since that time, Mott has been vocal on social media, claiming Councilwoman Noel wrongfully won because of an endorsement from Mayor Kelly.
They cheated and made it. The first time I lost legitimately. But this time they cheated. If anything, people should be more engaged, because they had to go overtime to try to stop what we had going.
Before Marie Mott ran for city council, she would often go to meetings and just be disruptive. She was apparently kicked out several times. But another person, a Republican that already had a seat, spoke out against her. He said that he usually stays out of the local political races. This was one he could not ignore. This person, Marie Mott, has stolen a flag and then videoed it being burned. She also has led the Defund the Police movement in Chattanooga and led a demonstration that took place at Mr. Smith's house. He said it terrified his family and neighbors. Her lawyer defended her, asking the judge to dismiss the charges because the other judges were doing the same thing.
He did ask the judge to dismiss Mott's charges, saying other cities across the country are choosing not to prosecute in this national movement. The judge says he's not dismissing any cases until he hears testimony next month.
But the charges she faced were more about her blocking emergency vehicles from somebody getting hit by a car and stealing the flag of a sheriff and burning it.
Candidate for Chattanooga City Council and activist Marie Mott was among protesters arrested over the weekend. The two incidents Mott and protesters were connected with: the burning of a sheriff's office flag and the blocking of a public street.
Mott, Williams, and other protesters were blocking the intersection of Market and Main, which delayed 2 fire units and slowed first responders on the way to a pedestrian struck call on the other side of town.
And even for the whole flag issue, there is a Supreme Court precedent, Texas versus Johnson, that puts burning a flag under freedom of speech.
And the other thing was, she burned a flag, which is covered by free speech, yeah. But it wasn't her flag. She actually stole the flag from the sheriff. She stole his flag and then lit it on fire with 6 other protesters. They videoed it and put it online. The First Amendment doesn't protect you stealing from somebody and then setting their property on fire. I'm allowed to set paper on fire. That doesn't mean I can go into the sheriff's office, take all their documents and light them on fire.
My brother C. Grimy and so many others were
charged with blocking a highway, blocking an emergency vehicle, simply protesting for Black lives.
She also loves to use the word simply. She uses it all the time.
Simply protesting for Black
was simply because of police, a simple violinist, simply because he was African, but simply because...
Whenever she says simply, you know a lie is coming.
Because now people are afraid, well, if I come out and I step off a sidewalk or I step into the street, I'm going to be charged criminally for just speaking up for Black lives.
She says that I was arrested simply for protesting. And now because of this, other people are going to be afraid that they're going to be arrested for protesting. No! No! You stole property from a cop! And burnt it! That is not the same thing. Yeah, a witness even said that during the protest that her and other people were threatening people just for being in the area. So remember that. Remember that she was threatening people just for being in the area.
And also states one person who called from a nearby restaurant claims he watched them threaten many people who were in the area.
Remember that a witness said that. It's alleged. Well, eventually these charges were dismissed. They just had to pay for the flag that they burnt. I think it was like $70 or $80 that they had to pay. And then charges dismissed. So her saying that she's good with the police department, that might actually be true. Now here's where things get crazier. Police footage and comments from the officials weren't the only thing that could have affected Mott's election. On September 8th, a Twitter account called Mott Speaks posted recordings of deleted Facebook live streams where Mott threatens cops and says offensive things about the Jews. Her comments were just as bad as they could be, so bad that I can't even show the worst parts here. I will show what I think I can, but check the description for any of my sources.
We are having hate speech when it's never hate speech, when it's not. Right. You can't be anti-Semitic when we are the Semitic people, when we are the same people that they want to be.
And I wanted to have a conversation about, a little bit about Nick Cannon. That yes, the Jews participated in the institution of chattel slavery. Yes, they owned slaves in the South. Yes, they joined the Confederacy and took up arms against this nation with traitors to uphold the institution of slavery. Yes, yes, it happened. When are we going to deal with it? It happened. When are we going to deal with it? What are we going to do?
Now, yes, it's true that some Jewish people were present in America at that time. It's true that some of them were in the Confederacy, that some of them had slaves. But it's a very small part of them. Just like there were some black people that participated in that. The problem is that she wants to acknowledge it and say, what now? What are we gonna do about it? That's the issue, and that's the scary part about it.
And every group that has participated, or by participating with your sheer silence, your silence makes you just as culpable and just as guilty as the perpetrators of the crimes against the black community. You are just as guilty.
And of course, if you were just there, if you were a Jewish person and you just lived in America and you never fought in the Confederacy, you never owned a slave, it doesn't matter because you were there, so you're guilty. So what now? Well, what now, Marie? What are you trying to say? Because of her comments on the Jewish people, several people blasted her and revoked their endorsement. That information is also down below. As for the live stream about the police, I'll try to show what I can.
To hold their own accountable. So we don't have to get to the point to where we feel like we need to do like the Black Panthers, and if you're going to run up in our communities and do us any kind of way, we're just going to shoot you. We tried peace. We've tried peace so many times, and I'm tired of trying peace. You can't ask peace of an oppressed, tired people.
She spends a half hour just going nuts, making threats, and encouraging others to do the same. If this isn't hate speech, I don't know what is.
But if people come into your community, if they put their hands on you, take them off the planet. They got families, they got to go home too. It's time for us to fight back. By any, and I do mean that in all caps, any means necessary.
something kind of humorous that she says about the Jewish community is that, well, one, she thinks that she is Jewish. She thinks that that black people are the real Hebrews, which is the type of comment that Nick Cannon got in trouble for.
Who said that I was being anti-Semitic, which is impossible because the original Jews are mine and your color.
But not only that, she says that she's the byproduct of a Jewish person. So I thought that she was gonna say that like her uncle was Jewish. I thought that she was gonna say her father's Jewish. No, listen to this.
I am a byproduct of a Jewish woman who my grandmother cleaned houses for. She kept having miscarriages. The lady she worked for was a doctor and gave her surgery to where she would end up having 2 children. So most people don't understand that there is even a personal connection between me and a Jewish family of why I'm here.
Yeah, there's oh, I can't be racist, my friend's Jewish. And then there's I can't be racist because my mother's mom had a doctor that was Jewish. Oh, excuse me then. I guess I was wrong to say that.
Everybody want to be like us, sound like us, dress like us, get their hair braided like us, hang with us.
No, Marie. Yeah, some people want to be black, but they're not talking about you. Then look at how she lies about her comments instead of apologizing for them. She said twice that she never used the word overwhelmingly. But here's the clip.
You will also see that they joined the Confederacy, overwhelmingly joined the Confederacy.
So on top of all of that, I found something else in Marie's past. Marie Mott was arrested and charged with harassment against an ex-boyfriend. I think the charges were dropped, but they're not unbelievable. I don't think anybody would be surprised if it turns out that some of these charges are true. The affidavit talks about how Mott's ex-boyfriend said that Mott threatened to call the cops and make false reports about him in retaliation. He also alleged physical abuse, said she would physically put her hands on him, and threatened to send gang members to his house. She told him she would call the police on him as payback and threatened to send gang members to his house in retaliation. Gang members? She threatened to send gang members to his house, allegedly? She also tried to get him fired by harassing his boss and coworkers, and even contacted his HR department. Miss Mott has negatively affected the boyfriend's work environment, causing tension and even an investigation due to her contact, the affidavit reads. Because she contacted HR, now they have an investigation going. While researching Marie Mott, I noticed something weird. I kept seeing a familiar name in the comments on every video featuring Mott. The commenter's name was Jean O'Reilly. And on every video I watched, I would find a few comments from her. You know, just a couple, maybe 2 or 3. Look, let me show you. I can't say for sure who this person is, but it definitely sounds like Marie Mott. She speaks just like her, where she uses bigger and longer words and over-explains things to try to sound smart. Because more words in a sentence equals bigger brain. She uses the phrase simply as well, which is kinda a tell. She uses the same quotes Marie uses. She calls her strong and brave. She says Marie is the only one worth her vote. She claims that the police have been harassing her, and that the traffic stop video was edited and distorted by the mainstream media. She believes everything Mott believes, like the election not being fair. She obviously has an invested interest in Marie, otherwise she wouldn't be doing all this. On every single video of Mott ever, you can find Jean O'Reilly in the comments. She might even be in this comment section. Then, as if she wasn't Marie Mott, she quotes herself. She literally quotes Marie Mott like she's a hero. This is just ramblings of an insane person. Look at this! Oh my god! End of story, jeez. There's Batgirl. Batgirl, if you see this, I see you in the comments. You are a legend. The reality is no one is reading your comments besides me. That's not true, Mott. That is not true. I didn't even read your comment. I couldn't even read the whole thing. I couldn't get through it because it was so much longer. Alright guys, that was a lot. Trust me, there was a lot of research gone into this. I had to read so many articles and listen to so many videos, but I just can't. I still did a lot of work, so I would appreciate a like, a subscribe, any of that if you enjoyed this video. But I'm going to leave it there. Next time, I'll probably talk about police encounters or maybe some more in-courtroom stuff. We'll see. I'm Lord AC. You guys have a good night, and peace.